started just posting some stories from the movie on Facebook, and all these Facebook groups, Warriors groups, and I was getting feedback like, wow, give me more, and so I said, I'm going to put this into a book, because I'm primarily a writer, and so over the last couple of years, I wrote this book, self-published it. It's called Purple Fury, Rumbling with the Warriors. And it's on Amazon, but you can also go to my website and buy a signed copy from me directly.
And you mentioned some line about me in the book.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I've got a lot.
Everyone gets a mention.
Everyone gets a mention.
There's just a lot of stories that people don't understand about movie production, because I come out of production, you don't realize what a clusterfuck it is. I mean,
it's a lot of work.
It really is. The pressure, the tension, time is always your enemy. And if you're a director, your time is everything. You always need more time to get things right, and it's a struggle. So everyone's constantly going like that. But I talk about it in the book. There were a few weeks, there was a stretch there where the production was just humming along. It might have been after Thomas Waits was fired, actually. Not that it was his fault, that's a whole other story. But when a production, you've got, maybe 150 people, 175 people on a production. Everyone's doing his or her job. It's clicking along, you're making your days. Your director's happy, he's getting all the setups he wants. The DP has time to light, which is critical to them. They always want more time to light things properly. So it's like that, and when it's screwing up, everyone knows it, and you're walking around like this. And when it's clicking, it's just no better feeling in the world. It's just fantastic. So yeah, I talk about all that kind of stuff in the book. So I encourage you to go out and buy it.
Can I ask them a question?
Yes.
I asked if you came over to say hi to me today. Why do you guys love the movie?
I'll say this. I mean, when it comes to the Warriors, a lot of it is nostalgia. I mean, of course, I got to see it with my dad.
Yeah.
So I like seeing it because it's just like time traveling, and it's just going back in time, and it's just those memories. But other than the whole gang thing, I mean, of course, I'm from San Antonio. The 90s was actually a gang mentality, hit pretty bad. And overalls were pretty big back then, by the way, guys. So you guys would have fit in. But yeah, it was mostly nostalgia,
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with him. It's going back to when I was younger. That was a big part of my childhood. I don't know how many times I've seen this movie. I watched it twice in the last 2 weeks just because I was like, it's going back in time, right? And stuff too. And at the time, being younger, I was scared to come to New York. I didn't want to go to New York, by the way, because I was going to run into one of you guys or something. But yeah, it's a lot of nostalgia. It's one of the few movies that I remember at a young age where it was like, oh my God, they're like fighting. There's like these gangs and all this things going on. Like they could really take over New York. Like there's you guys in their war cops, right? So, oh wow. So it was like, I knew it was a movie, but it was still kind of scary in a way. But it was a good memory, though, if that makes any sense.
Oh,
That's
yes.
interesting, you nostalgia.
Yeah.
If I may address the overalls, Bobby Mannix, originally we were supposed to be punk rockers. Walter Hill loved punk rock, so Bobby Mannix made a custom-made leopard jumpsuit
Oh my God.
originally. And so my hair is supposed to be, if you saw her drawings, it's supposed to be spiked out with glasses.
Yeah.
But after they shot The Furies, then he toned us down and hence the overalls. So that's how we got these, actually. But Ridley Scott, I think, was going to do a remake, like an LA remake.
Tony.
Tony Scott. And so there was an LA Times article, and in it says, "It ain't going to be no hillbillies in overalls."
Yeah. Everybody wore overalls in the 70s.
Yeah, I did. I definitely
Yeah.
did.
But in New York, in New York, did they wear overalls? It's like, I don't know. It's like, was that
No one wore
It's
overalls.
My appreciation of the movie is from the beginning to the end. Because if you think about it, you're going to a big function, and there's so many different types of gangs that are shown. And for the Warriors, going through each town just to get home, you get to learn about each gang, from the Warfare, Furies, explosive, and each battle that they fight, you appreciate it even more for them to get home. And what my understanding is when they did the final shot of the Warriors, the last models, they weren't included. That's what I read. When y'all were gonna go to the beach with the Warriors.
It was all improv. I started this rumor, but it's not a rumor. He originally had a bag of dead pigeons. He'll probably, he had a bag of dead pigeons. He didn't want to do that, Walter, and he had the bottles, and he's trained with music and everything. And they put this was like dawn. We're in the car. I make a long story short, I did lines with him, but I didn't do that. We just made up lines, right? So as the Warriors come out to play, and I kept saying, "We're gonna get you, Warriors, tonight." There's no tonight, it's morning. So they're like, Walter said, "We're gonna drop that crop seed. We're just gonna have, David Patrick Kelly do that." So, that's the way it went, and it was great. He did the bottle thing, and that was it. It was amazing, and it was really amazing because it was all that was made up. That was all made up. They closed the car to make it dark. They put the camera on us. It was it. It was amazing.
The Warriors was Walter's genius and a lot of other people, but it's based on the book by Saul Urich. Does anyone have that? I feel like a teacher up in class. And that was also based on an ancient Greek myth, process. And that's the hero's journey.
I thought the music, I think the music keeps it going, keeps it tense, keeps it hot. Yeah, a lot of flavor. And
The intro
just,
is
as soon as you hear that, then you know it's like hearing the first note of Jaws.
I was just gonna ask, what did you all think of the John Wick movie when they did the road to Warrior?
Oh, the last one, I loved it, man. I love that. And I liked when David Patrick Kelly was in the first one. It blew me away because I didn't know he was in it. And then he comes out, and the other one, he did a homage to the whole movie, and you see everything
Really?
like
It's the
that.
whole movie?
What?
The whole movie is
the
the-
fourth one. Yeah, I like them all. I like all the
It was like the Warriors because he was going.
Right,
all
everything,
back.
and the music and everything, and all the gangs coming. It was all the hitmen to kill John Wick. It was really good. I went to see that. For that. Well, I was going anyway. You know what I mean?
I gotta check it out.
And it was also in an episode of The Simpsons.
Oh, yes.
Including the Warriors. I mean, it's really infiltrated pop culture.
I like every Halloween when I see a little kid in the Fury outfit.
And of course, we're going to go with the questions. And I want you to go in order. I mean, we're going to go in sequence from row to row. If you have any questions, we'll go ahead and plug that in.
Sure. Kind of a comment and question. So, first of all, like all the gangs, right? Most of them we saw in the dark, right? So, Furies, Lizzies, the Orphans. We saw it in the dark, right? The Rogues. We saw them. The only ones we didn't were the punks, right? We saw you with fluorescent lights. It was a little brighter. And you were the scariest one to me.
You was, right?
First, you're in New York with overalls. Who the hell does that, right? and then you're on skates. But then the look in your eyes was nuts. Like, I just felt like you would be the most murderous one out of all of them.
Yeah, Konrad is the most peaceful.
I know.
That's not good at acting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's one of the sweetest guys ever.
He's so that, like, it's like
Practicing.
props to you and to all of you guys did great in the movie, but for you particularly, like, your eyes showed all that. You were very scary to me. Like, it's like if I was gonna run into anybody, I didn't want to run into you. Like, if I had to pick, you would be the last
The
one.
Lizzies didn't scare you?
Well, the Lizzies were cute, so like that. They're cute. They're beautiful. So.
If you ran into me, I'd take you out for a slice.
Right. So I guess my question is though, so my understanding is that you didn't know how to roller skate before the movie, and so you want to tell us a little bit about that, and then also too, is there a true story that a cop tried to pull you over once? You want to tell us something about
Yeah, I
that?
shared it a bit today, but again, I was hired as a stuntman to do the fight scenes for the punks and then the orphans. And Walter, just out of the blue, said, "Do you know how to skate?" And I said, "Yes," but I didn't. So, but having said that, I had a strong foundation. I was a stuntman. So I studied karate and gymnastics, good foundation. So I had the athletic kind of abilities. But he said, can you skate? And I said, yes, but I couldn't. So I went to Central Park. There's a place called Good Skates.
Good skates, I used to go there.
Yeah, and I had custom skates made. And I spent he gave me the summer to grow my hair and roller skate. And so I spent all summer, like right at the band shell, right there, and then I could skate in Westchester from Mount Vernon to White Plains back. It was 25 miles.
Oh, wow.
So just to get it, to get the skates under my bones, And so if I was on Central Avenue, and at the time my ego was such that when I started something, I didn't want to stop. So it was the 70s, right? So not many people were skating in the streets back then. So I'm skating, and then the sheriff says, pull over. And so my ego just jumped out, and I was like, I can't, And again, he says, pull over, and I said, I can't, I'm skating for a record. And he let me go. Wow. But had he pulled me over a third time, I swear to God, he said, oh, so what record are you skating for? I said, I'm going to my friend's house to get a Led Zeppelin album.
Nice.
So those are both true stories?
Yes. And by the way, the Lizzies were packing more, right? They had more blades and guns than I think most of the other ones. So yeah, you were young, dangerous.
Something that you go ahead first.
There was just a scene that is one of the deleted scenes, but you really don't see where you could tell that the Lizzies were more ominous, treacherous than they were, and I was supposed to have a switchblade in them. And they decided for the continuity of the film and to create a mystery, they edited that scene.
Yeah, what
so
you
they
go,
really were a tough chick.
Sugar-coated bullets.
What?
Sugar-coated bullets.
Sugar-coated.
The Lizzies caught a lot of shit for not being able to shoot straight. In the original script.
He brought that up.
That's funny. Shoot them dead. So, and what happened was Terry Michaels was doing such a cool thing with that character. Walter decided, I'm going to let this guy live. And then I get to throw him into the mirrors in the bathroom.
I always tell people I'm glad I missed, right? Because he's such a nice guy.
Yeah. On the same note, Cochise was supposed to get killed by the Furies in the original script, but he never even made it into Riverside Park. He ended up with you guys instead.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's one more, we lost David and we lost Rembrandt, so there's one more standing. And may Terry live a long, long life.
Yeah, we also lost Bill Torres. I wish Bill Torres was one of the those crazy guys on the bus.
Turnbull ACs.
Turnbull
ACs. We lost them this summer too. It's been a tough year. Yeah, Bill used to come to some of these events too. Fuck it, we're getting old, man.
And we're gonna go on. Do you guys any questions?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
So I remember when the movie came out. It came out in theaters, and there were protests. There was maybe some violence. It got pulled in some theaters, and the thing that strikes me is The Warriors wasn't the kind of movie you could put on NBC. I mean, it just there was violence, there was language, and but right at that time, cable's coming in, and HBO needs content, and I think that's where so much of the rebirth of The Warriors came, as people saw it. Not in the theaters, but on HBO, and made it a cult classic. I wonder, what's the coolest thing that you guys might happen to you related to your work in the Warriors?
Well, autographs. That's pretty cool. But my favorite, I've done some crazy autographs, ethics autographs. But one time this guy, he wanted my autograph. I was doing another film called Ungovernable Force or something in Boston, and he wanted my autograph. So I said, "Where do you want it?" And he said, "On my car." So he had this old car, and so I wrote, I think his name was Rich. "Dear Rich, thanks for last night, Apache." It's a crazy request, and things that fans do for you is just incredible.
Yeah, kudos to the fans, really. You guys are keeping the movie alive.
Well, I haven't finished talking, but
sorry.
You always gotta cut her off, but.
No, you gotta cut off.
I got so many gifts and little figurines, and people take the time to do that, and it's really a blessing that they care enough to do that, you know, and it always makes me feel good about that. And it means so much to people.
And next.
No, I'm done. Just thank you to the fans.
Oh, definitely. Questions?
No, just, I'm so excited to be here.
No. Everybody is.
We can't, we recorded the parts you missed, so when we get back to it, you'll see the other part.
I found out about this movie because in the 90s, on the internet, there was a website, Matt Murray, that was really pushing for someone to make a video game. And I think that's where that groundswell movement came from, because that's how I found out about it. They were like, Lifetime was growing up playing these beat 'em ups where you're in the city. They're like, it's insane that no one's made a Warriors game, like some kind of beat 'em up. That's how I found out about it.
If I may just, you have two things that come to mind. One is now, because of the video game and the Funko Pop, children are coming. And I guess, shot that's recognized is me with the switchblade, right? So now every time the child comes, I say, do you know what that's for? And they're like, no, I say, it's for cutting vegetables. So, you know what I mean?
No.
So that's what we meant. So yes, you're right, because of the video game. And you know what's cool? Because I'm honored to have the Funko Pop. The coolest thing is, like, for my daughter, our grandson say, my dad's a Funko Pop. My granddaughter.
Nice.
That's the coolest. Yes.
I got bootleg Funko Pops. I don't even know what that means, but I got a couple of people sent me that they make up. They're not the ones stores.
The customs?
Yeah, it really blows my mind.
Come on, they gotta do one for you. I mean, the pro and everything, that would be perfect.
With the rain.
Yeah, the video game really did keep the movie alive, especially with younger generations. My two sons played the game, and I'd walk by their room and I'd hear them yell, "Let's kill Dad next." And they just beat the crap out of me all the time. They loved it. But there are people who played the game before they saw the movie. That's not that's pretty
It's funny to think about, since I'm in my 70s, and I never really played video games. I used to put my money in the jukebox. But to think that right now, somewhere on this planet, somebody's kicking my ass. It's really a funny thing,
And of course, we're going to go back out here. Any questions, guys? No? Sir? Second row.
It's about the comic book. Someone talked about the comic book, and so I went down the internet trying to find the comic book.
I have an interesting story where I was walking one day near my house and I was teaching yoga and healing arts. And someone said, "You're in a comic book." And I said, "No, nobody's, I'm thinking Archie or whatever." And they said, "Yes, you are." And they recognized me.
Wow.
We never got invited or permission or consent from the company to do it.
Oh, man.
So they were comics. And there are a series of comics. Do you know what it's the same people who did Green Lantern. They came out with Warriors comics. It's based on the stills, the actual footage.
It's kind of a post what happens after the movie, right?
Oh, no, that's separate.
And they gotta bring them out.
That's the last one, but there's a whole series of the Warriors comics. Yeah.
You should Lego Land characters.
Oh, yes. I've seen
That's
those.
another thing for my grandson.
But it's all stuff. To me, just the fact that you guys love it, how many years later, that's priceless.
Definitely. And sir, any questions, boss?
Yeah, I have a question. This is a little bit of a different question. Working with the Riffs, since there was such a large gang, and with Cyrus, did y'all have any interaction with them? Because they were so large. I mean, they know that each one of y'all had your gang, but the Riffs were large.
Joe was good friends.
I went to college with Ed Seward. He was one of my best friends.
Yeah.
He died of cancer. We at the end of the movie, we're on the beach together. all we're doing is laughing because we're in acting class and together a lot. And to be in the movie, because initially when I got the part in the movie, I called up his wife at that time, because you couldn't find Ed anywhere anyway. But I got him on her on the phone. I said, listen, I can get him extra work in The Warriors. He said, no, he's already filming the movie. Because the first day of filming was Who Are the Warriors? They shot, you were there, so you know that was the first day, end of May or whatever. So Ed was already on the film. So I said, okay, that's it. You know, he's there. I didn't know what he was playing. I knew what he was playing, but then we were always friends. Every time I go to New York, we have lunch, and we went to Bronx Community College together. And he was great, always great actor.
Do you guys
and
know
all
what
the
he's talking about?
all those actors, a lot of the riffs I knew them
Yes.
because of acting with them and stuff like that. It was pretty amazing.
I think the rest of it were based on the Black Spades in the Bronx.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of gangs back then.
Just out of curiosity as well, the other guy that they break reports to, I don't know his name, they really don't mention his name, but they said the terminals, they failed, you know.
Oh, everyone wonders who that is when they're calling in. I think like with David Howard.
Oh, you know what?
Calling in, nobody
To this
knows.
day, these are questions that you know what? I was in the movie, I didn't care. You know what I mean? I didn't, for me, I read the script, I got the script, I read it, and I never thought, I know people that really, who is this guy? I'm not doing that. I was so in the flow of it. I was swimming the pool, I didn't,
Has anybody heard any good theories of like who they think it is? Like, is there a best one that you've heard?
Well, you know,
all you know is Walter Hill was on the other line talking to David Petrocelli. Well, that's what was happening.
So the Conclave is 9 representatives, but every gang is a big gang. Wouldn't you think they're all calling backups and people, except the Warriors?
Yeah.
And who are they calling?
At the time, could have been the FBI trying to shut all this down.
That's a big conspiracy
Yeah, there were theories
theory.
about that
The CIA or whoever.
Someone from the
If they
mayor's
remake it, they'll
office,
do that. They'll add that to it.
Oh, yeah.
Money talks, right?
the
Let's
head of
do
the
stuff like
cops.
that.
If you think about what they were trying to do was control the city.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Luther could have been a Confederate. It was like ratting them out and raping the whole thing up. Working for the police, could have been undercover. I'm going to ask Walter.
Interesting.
If you ever ask Walter.
Interesting. I will ask him, but the first thing I would do is actually also go to the book.
The first thing I'm going to ask
Oh, yeah.
Walter when I talk to him next is how come they covered up the Lizzies? Because as DeeDee was saying,
Gossip with the rival gangs.
Yeah.
It was very, more than sparkly and shimmering tops, they were very see-through.
it was total see-through tops, no brassieres.
But I think they put jackets on us because they wanted to keep it more of a family.
It was very racist.
And of course, guys, yes.
Yeah, first I want to say thank you for coming out. This
Thank
is
you.
cool, it's cool for me because I'm a big fan. But is there any other celebrities or even athletes that are fans and that y'all have met?
Yes.
During your meet and greet? I mean,
I went to.
I know
I'm a
Shaq.
diehard Met fan, right?
Diehard. He has a Met
Yeah, my
watch.
underwear. No, I have my Batman underwear on now. Well, what do they call it? I really do. So what do they call it? Fanatics. Just like, really, and directors. But Lenny Dykstra, my friend's a scalper.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't scalp. He said, hey, Lenny, we got a guy from the Warriors here. Then I sat next to him, right? And he said to me, like, Warriors come out to play here, and I'm in now. And I said, Mr. Dykstra, I never get autographs, but can you sign my hat? So, like you guys, I'm a big fan, right? So he opens the hat, his little hair on it. That's a funky hat. I still have it. There's another actor you never heard of. He's a great actor. He's in Conclave right now, the Priest movie. His name is, he is from Ireland, okay? He's one of the great actors. He won the Tony Award. Brian F. O'Byrne. This guy is insane Met fan. Dresses up. He's won the Tony Award. This guy was, I met him through this scalper guy. He was unbelievable. He loves the Mets and he loves the war. He was unbelievable. He's just
So I had the honor of a few years ago meeting Joe Walsh. We all know who Joe Walsh was from Eagles and West Washington. And he said to me, well, he loves the movie. And his friends, he said, loves the movie. And one of the guys who loved the movie was a musician by the name of Dan Fogelberg. Remember him?
He was in that, I mean, he was a
Yeah,
Warrior fan too.
yeah,
Wow.
before he passed away.
And Steely Dan too.
Really?
Yeah, they love that movie. They and Gary Oldman. He loves that movie. Oh my
Gary
God.
Oldman?
Yeah, he loves the movie.
Have you all seen Slow Horses? The
Yeah.
new streaming show? Brilliant.
Because the story I
Gary
heard
Oldman.
was him, Richard Dreyfuss, and Steely Dan at the Dakota Hotel, watching the movie on tape. And they love that movie. You know what I mean? Really love it. I mean, I only heard these things. Different here, some it could not be true, but I never, when I met Richard Dreyfuss, I never brought up the Warriors. I just brought up other things, you know.
I have a cool story about that. After we finished The Warriors and The Wanderers, we went on to The Chosen with Robbie Benson and Ryder. And so we were in Brooklyn in a school, a fenced-in schoolyard, like asphalt, lunch things, where you sit and have lunch. So I don't know how it happened, but word got out that a guy from the Warriors was on set, So I guess like school got out, right? All of a sudden, I'm not joking, the fence was lined up with people looking for this guy from the Warriors, And Robbie Benson's like, hey man, I thought they were here for me. He was so cool, it's no ego. It's wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Wanderers and the Warriors competing in the box office?
He was in both.
Same year, same year.
Were you a Ducky boy or?
I was, yes.
Ducky boy.
And they cast David Patrick Kelly and myself in the film, but when he found out, Phil Kaufman, that we were in the Warriors, he removed the pictures. And I think Terry was casting, but I'm not sure. But I know David Patrick Kelly was the lead Ducky boy, and Joel Weiss was me, Turkey. But I never did it, and I read the book like 22 times, but it didn't make the money. The movie, they got the wrong director for it because he's not from the Bronx, he's from San Francisco, and his wife Rose and him wrote the screenplay. They tried to make it like the Warriors with different gangs, but the book is not like that. Richard Price wrote about the Bronx and the Fort and Baldies, and they were gangs, but they didn't make them like super, like the Ducky Boys were like aliens, they were like that. They changed all that because of the Warriors. They came after, but they have a big following too, the Wanderers.
Speaking of the Wanderers, we lost Tony Gagnos this year.
Yes.
And Tony and I became good friends doing these meet and greets, and we have a picture of him trying to put a Wanderers jacket on me. It was
Trying to recruit.
Yeah, we lost him this year too.
Tony was great in the Worlds too.
He was a sweetheart, and the toothpick was real, right? Toothpick was real. He always had a toothpick. And the last time I saw him, we did a meet and greet, and he was a history buff. He just really loved history. But as I was leaving, we didn't make any money. And I was leaving, I said, Tony, thank God for Social Security. He was like, Apache.
I have a quick, sorry guys. And that movie, I know it's not the Warriors, but then the Wanderers, when the final scene, we got bumbled, the Ducky Boys against the Wanderers and
At that Cortland Park?
yeah,
It's a football game.
was that a hard scene to do? I mean,
It was fun,
Really?
Yeah, it was orchestrated really well, it was choreographed really well, and everybody was on board, and it was actually just a lot of fun. Tony's dad picks me up and swings me around and throws me and...
Is that Ralph?
Bro.
Is that Ralph Schaefer or what?
I forget his name.
I never
He was
saw
a
the
Wanderers.
Wanderers.
But it was cool, I was rehearsing the Wanderers while I was shooting the Warriors. And then there was like a 2-week break. So Walter asked me to go my hair out. I don't know if you know Francesco Scavulo, but he did a Cosmopolitan for like 20 years. Well, he was a friend, and so I had a shooting with him because my hair was going to be cut off. And then there's a famous acting school teacher, Lee Strasberg. And so there was a movie called Boardwalk, and I was doing stunts for Lee Strasberg while the Warriors were down in Coney doing the final stunts. They were right near each other, and I was invited down, but I didn't want, I don't know why, I didn't want Walt to see me as an 80-year-old man, you know, dressed up, so I didn't go to set. And then went right, had the haircut and right into the one.
Man.
So it was a great 2 weeks.
Thank you for answering that.
No, please, yeah.
No problem. Of course, sir, any questions?
A couple things. I always thought you were an ER for some reason.
But I was
TV
in
show
ER.
yeah.
Which
but,
character would that have been? Maybe I
don't remember. As far as the movie goes, honestly, I think it's the first movie I remember watching. And my dad was in the military, so I grew up on Air Force bases. So I had to see a whole lot of the outside world. And I had to beg them to take me to the movie to see it. And it totally blew my mind. The whole world, all I ever seen was guys with short crew cut haircuts, and, you know, marching, and to see that was like,
Wow.
the whole entire time my jaw was just like.
So the Warriors blew your mind?
What's that?
The Warriors blew your mind?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Wow,
I've
that's
never seen
interesting.
anything like that. But my question is, I think I already know the answer, but have either of you been on another movie or involved anything else quite like this? I guess the reaction the fans give.
Joe,
Never like this, never, no movie. I mean, I did Quicksilver, I did a bunch. Quicksilver, I thought when I did the movie, another Warriors.
I love that movie.
It was, didn't work. But I had a great time, I really had a great time doing that.
He has a great time wherever he goes.
When I'm working, I'm happy. Here, I'm having a great time.
He's a great guy.
In different ways, but the Warriors is just such a thing. It's like, it's not just a movie, it became, I mean, and it's based on an ancient tale, but it's become fandom. I don't quite understand how it just became what it is. It's really, it's a mystical, what?
It's because it's on HBO all the time. That's how I
So
saw
many
it.
things, I mean, I've done other stuff.
But it's been passed down from generation to
Yeah,
generation.
yes.
The video game helped a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Video game. I remember as a social worker, I was on 14th Street going up the stairs, and all of a sudden I saw the whole subway station full of the Warrior game, the Warrior game. They never paid me, but it changed. It gave us another generation, and now you got Lin-Manuel Miranda
that's
doing this
another
thing,
generation.
and it keeps going.
This is how big it was on me. I told him earlier, but when I was a kid, I played baseball. And I would go up, you know, my friends in the yard, when I was playing, you know, organized Little League, I would go up there and do through the bat, fling it out and catch it. And go up there. Plastic bats, wooden bats, didn't matter. If I had blood in my hand, I was doing that all day long.
I mean, if you see that on paper, dressed up as a baseball player with Kiss makeup, it doesn't sound real,
Yeah.
but it's my favorite part of the movie. When I see them and they start coming in and that music.
Oh, yeah.
The way you got the bat.
It's militant.
That's like my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, like me, I got my son's name Cyrus, you know, because
Wow.
I mean, it's Isaiah Cyrus. I got the middle name, but I didn't get a, you know, first name. But I don't know, I've loved this movie since. I remember there was a Hastings down the street. My mom used to give me 2 quarters to go down to Hastings, and it was 47 cents with tax. So I had 3 pennies and my movie. I don't know how many times I rented that movie. I own this thing on Blu-ray, PSP, DVD, the whole thing. It's just amazing. I like The Wanderers, but from what I heard, the movie lost out to The Wanderers in box sales.
Yeah. Well, we got pulled. After 3 weeks, we were #1 box office, then all the violence happened. You know, people died in Brooklyn and in London.
Oh, wow.
And it became X-rated in England and Paris. They banned it.
Which is the best publicity.
Yeah, they banned it for 10 years. 10 years it wasn't shown. And then all these English people, they got to see it some way, somehow. They became big fans of it and everything. And, you know, the worst thing about it was, I got a job with David Patrick Kelly. We were going to be on the Hollywood Squares, right, in a booth together. This is how hot as it began. And I'm not even a lead, you know, I'm a lead in the movie, but we're the bad guys. We're not even the Warriors. They booked through my manager, and we were going to be on it for like 2 weeks. They shoot a lot of shows at once. But it was going to be in Florida, not in Hollywood. So I'm going to do it, you know what I mean? Then Rona Barrett, she used to be on TV, she reported the people dying, and then I got a phone call from my manager at that time, said, You're not doing the Hollywood Squares. That would have been fun.
So it's interesting, it went
It's
from
like
years
Rumbo.
ago being this violent, kind of, stay away from it. Now everyone's talking, it's about the hero's journey. Isn't that someone was saying, right? Just getting home, finding yourself. It's almost like the Wizard of Oz. I need to be at home. It's amazing, 45 years.
And you gotta give super credit to Bobby Mannix for what she did with the
I think
costumes.
she's gonna be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Panel. We're doing a panel tomorrow.
I asked her, why did the Orphans have such a shitty t-shirt, you know? And I got to meet her, know who she was. And, you know, because you have gangs that not even in the movie have no lines and they have these great jackets and shit. I was like, Bobby, what happened? She said, we ran out of money.
You're an orphan.
You're an orphan. The orphans, the
Did Fox
orphans.
say y'all are real low lives? Like, they're not even on the map or something?
Yeah, you know, the thing about the Orphans is that the way I see it and the way I talk to people that have met you guys today is that everybody at one time or another has been excluded, not invited. And that's the secret, the power of the Orphans, and that's why they like the Orphans, because we've all been there. You know?
You know, on Facebook, Apache has a group called Orphan Nation. If you're all on Facebook, you should join in this group.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun. It's like whenever there's a really raunchy post that I won't put up anywhere else, I'll put it up on Orphan Nation.
And he fails to say that when his book came out, we had the Orphan Shopping Network for the book.
It's very helpful.
One thing you gotta say is that we get along, you know, and you can tell we can't fake it. And you know, I love everybody here. DeeDee and I fight all the time.
They fight like husband and wife.
And we're both from the Bronx, you know. So.
But after the movie, I mean, I began hanging out with Joel during the movie, and we stayed in touch over the years. I hung out with
Paramount and everything, yeah.
She turned me on to tofu in 1978.
And I turned him on to salad.
Salad, I never ate salad.
Yeah.
The first time I met DeeDee, we were doing one of these things, and I said, "Damn, I'm hungry." She said, "Oh, Apache, would you like a rice cake and peanut butter?"
And hummus.
Said,
Rice
"What?"
cake and hummus.
I'm in Texas. I want some beef. But really, it's been a great day. I'm tired.
No, yes,
I'm ready
yes.
to get out of here.
Yes, sir. Man, sorry guys. If anything, I mean, they'll be here tomorrow, so you guys can definitely stop by and hang out. But I do.
And the panel is the Warriors.
No, yes. But I'm saying like throughout the day, of course, the event's going to be happening. But yeah, I want to thank everybody. I mean, like I said earlier, you know, this is big for everybody. It's iconic. You know, you guys. I mean, I'm a fan for life, so definitely thank you guys for being here, and thank you all. Thank you all.